All right, so I will call the annual meeting to order at 5:28 p.m. We are doing remote attendance pursuant to State Executive Orders 2020 07 and 2020-18. The text can be found in the agenda. Public comments, no? So we will move on to participation in the non-resident card program. So Rick, do you want to explain what that is for?
So each year you guys decide whether or not to participate in a non-resident card program. We have a formula, the formula that we've used to determine the cost to a non-resident is attached in your packet. That's the mathematical formula that we've always used. There are a couple other ways we could do it, but that's the simplest one. We typically get anywhere from 2 to 5 of these a year. A person who does not live within our taxing district, but we are the closest library to them, is eligible to purchase one. The twist this year is that General Assembly passed a new, very well-intentioned law to improve access for kids in unserved areas. So any kids that meet the federal poverty guidelines and their students, they're kids in school, get a free card. That's state law. I would like to just, rather than us getting financial information from families, that we just, any kid who is eligible for a non-resident card, we just give them a free card. I think that would be much easier on staff, and people don't walk around with the proof of income on them. So I think it's the simplest thing to do.
So is that so just so you know, we have to I know this question has been asked before, but we have to charge people if they do not live in the taxing district. So we cannot make this $0, like we've talked about that, we've asked about that.
Right. Because it wouldn't be fair to Decatur taxpayers.
Correct. Yeah, people who pay taxes in Decatur. So I just
and I don't think the Cards for Kids CARES Act is either. I'm sorry, there are a lot of poor people in Decatur who, they're not getting a tax break on their property taxes for their kids to get a card at Decatur Public Library, but it's the law and it's already in effect. And I just think the simplest thing to do is just offer the kids cards free for everybody.
Yes. Okay. So I guess my question is it part of this non-resident fee, or is that more of a policy type thing?
Yeah, we've never had a policy about it. I could bring it in the form of a policy next month to the PPR committee. I don't talk about it right now.
I don't think we need it if it's state law.
Well, it's state law that kids who meet the federal poverty guidelines, which right now, the way they were telling us to get at that is if they qualify for free lunches. Well, right now, every kid in the state is qualified for a free lunch. So temporarily. So, technically, we're supposed to give and it's almost a non-issue for Decatur Public Library. We get so few of these, and so few of them are kids cards, that it's not that big of an issue. But I
guess from my standpoint, I'm all for just giving the kids cards for free, because you can't take everything out with a kids card. So it's not like people are going to take advantage of it by coming here and saying, "Oh, my kid get the free library card."
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you're restricted on what you can take out, because I know my older daughter, I was allowing her to take out stuff that she had to take out on my card because you guys were restricting it, which was totally fine with me because I handed her the card and said, "I'm okay with you reading that." But I don't think we'll get taken advantage of as a result of just saying kids free.
I agree.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, so this non-resident fee that's included in the packet, is that kind of like we need to vote on these separately?
Yeah, I think that do you want to participate, and do we want to set the fee to be 0 for kids? Do we want to participate with the formula for, in general, for adults, the formula that I've attached, but the second item is about the kids' access.
Okay.
And
can I raise a question, Rick?
Sure.
You know, you and I had a kind of a separate conversation, but it's related to the Barclay Public Library. And for the rest of the board, the city has done annexations of properties over the last couple of years. That law has allowed the city to do annexations for. And some of these annexations have been for properties that were within the Barclay Library District.
Yes.
The Barclay Library District has raised a matter. It's before the courts in Decatur, in Macon County. And the Barclay County, or the Barclay Library District, is, with these annexation changes, there's an amount of money that these property owners would pay on their taxes to the Barclay Public Library, that because of the annexation, those taxes are now diverted to the Decatur Public Library. And this matter is before the circuit court. The city attorney, Wendy Morflin, is going to court, dealing with this matter. So my question is, if with this matter, if a Barclay Library resident that is, are they able to come into the Decatur Public Library and receive the services of the Decatur Public Library without paying any taxes that fund the Decatur Public Library?
The answer to that is yes. So to
me as a board member, that's a problem. That's a drain on, we the library would be providing services to adults and maybe children who are paying taxes to another library, but yet come into our library and get services. And I believe if we allow that, that's wrong. We should charge for that if we're not getting the tax revenue.
So there's two separate issues here. One is that this is the one that's before you to vote on is about non-residents. So that's about people who don't get service from anywhere. So this would, but and I'll have to double check it. But if we're as a part of the consortium, I believe that we have an obligation to engage in reciprocal borrowing. So reciprocal borrowing is that library card that I have is good at any library in the state of Illinois. So your Decatur Public Library card can be used at any library. You can walk into any library and check something out.
Okay.
Now, that has been challenged in a couple of places. Most recently, Champaign, they decided that exactly what you're saying, Greg. They were getting a lot of use from their neighboring smaller communities, whereas their patrons really weren't getting any use from the. And I honestly, I don't know where that landed. I'm not sure where that ended up, but your opinion is shared by others, but two separate things. One, the thing that I'm asking you to vote on today is
unrelated to that. It's what you're asking us to vote on today.
This is
so
for people
unrelated
who receive no services anywhere. They're not
all right.
Barclay card or any place else. Not that the other issue isn't worth discussing. It's just not. That's not what this one is.
Then I would vote just as Sophia and others have suggested that we use this to charge adults, non-residents, and if it's the board's opinion that we allow youths, children to get free services, then I would agree to that.
All right, so you making that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, so any other discussion? So Sophia?
Yes.
Kate? Are you on mute?
Oh, no?
Oh, did you say yes?
Yes.
Or, I mean, yes or no?
I said yes. I vote yes.
Okay. Greg?
Yes.
Okay. Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Samantha, yes. All right, that non-resident fee formula, the participation in non-resident card program passes. Sorry, it's been a long day. Did we just include the fees for non-resident card for child?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So that action is done as well. That item is done as well. Those are combination. So we'll move on to annual reports.
I'm putting a link in the chat for Illinois Heartland that'll give you detail about reciprocal borrowing. What the question Greg asked about is what we call reciprocal borrowing. So I'll let you take a look at that. I'll try to get some clarifying information to you by the next meeting. So we do 3 annual reports. We do the Illinois Public Library annual report, and I can put up the copy I sent you was from the copy, but I will put up the.
Hi, honey.
Where is it? Here we go. So this is what we send to the state library every year. It's a statistical report. I'm going to scroll really fast through the top part because it has your names and addresses and phone numbers on it. And the version I made public has those redacted. As an aside, Greg, I will need a copy of the surety bond before I submit this. I have to submit it by the 28th.
Okay, yeah, I've got, I saw your email. I just haven't sent it to you. I'll get it to you.
Yeah. And it's a financial report. It's a report on staff and our staffing levels and what we pay our staff. It is a report about our programs and our circulation. It's also got in there estimates of capital needs that I was told the last 2 years, just guess. I said we don't own the property. It doesn't matter. Just guess. Put something in there. So that's what I did. And it tells an interesting story that there's another report that will tell a little bit better. I mean, we were only open. I was originally saying 26 weeks, but it was 31 weeks. So some of those weeks were partial. Many of those weeks were partial. And yet we only saw a 30% decline in overall circulation. And again, I think if you had told us in January of 2020 that we would be closed about half the year and we would only experience a 30% decline in circulation, we'd feel pretty good about that. Now, programming was like a 70% decline. But if you have any questions on these numbers, how we get them or what they mean, I'm happy to field those. And what I will need is permission from you guys need to vote to accept it, and then I will need permission from Samantha and Sophia to add their electronic signatures before I submit.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
61A.
Yep. Let me get back up.
Total square footage of main library building.
Yep.
140,690. Is that the whole Sears building, or is that just the space you occupy?
I think it's the whole building, but that just hasn't changed. I'd have to look at past reports, but I think it's the whole building.
So should we report that as just the space you occupy in the building?
It probably should, if that is indeed. I'll have to look at some past reports and see if that has shrunk. If it has, then that's the.
Okay. And I've got, you know, somewhere on I've got all the square footage stuff for the library facility, you know, how much you occupy, what's the open space. You and I'll communicate, and let's get that number to be the space that you occupy in the building. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Second question is, I guess it's same section. It's 6.3B. There's a capital needs assessment.
Yeah.
There's a $13 million number in headquarters estimate of general repair modeling.
It's down a little bit.
Yeah, it's down.
It's right,
a couple,
it's right here.
Right there.
It's right here.
There.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, that is when we worked with architects for a remodel, that is the most expensive possible remodel that we could have.
Okay.
Our estimate.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. All right. Those are my questions.
All right. So we don't need to vote on each of these individually because there's only one action item, correct?
Yeah, you can just take them all of a piece.
Okay. Do you want to,
Yeah, so the next report is actually your report to, no, that's this here. It's your report to the mayor and council. And Samantha, did you have a chance to look at the letter that I sent you? Yeah, when you have a chance to take a look at it, it's our essentially our finances. We are required by law to send this to the corporate body every year. We've got a few statistics down at the bottom, but it is essentially our annual financial report with this is a report of our holdings and our circulation.
I will get that to you though. I'll review and get it to you.
Yeah. So the last report is my report to you guys. In the past, this has been as much as 25 pages long. I cut it down for a couple of reasons this year. One is because honestly, there was a lot of filler in that 25-page report. It was really, really granular, and I didn't see a point in wasting your time with it. So I wanted to just boil it down to the essence, and the essence was COVID-19, just like everybody else. So I hope you had a chance to look at it. I thought the things that were kind of important in the year were, of course, COVID-19, the DEI stuff, the social work intern project. We got a lot of attention about that. Television, newspaper. I really wanted to salute ASME because they were willing to be really flexible on some things around COVID-19 scheduling and things like that, that they, per the, it looks like I should spell Alyssa's name correctly, but per the contract, they could have been a lot less flexible on, and I was greatly appreciative of their ability to say, hey, this is a weird situation. Let's be open to compromise. We said goodbye to Joanne Stanbury this year, and she'd been here for 44 years, but we also saw a retirement for Mary Laskowski and Lori Cerny.
I like this format because I think we get the most out of it, and we've talked all year about a lot of this stuff.
Exactly. And it was just a
highlight summary.
What do you say? I mean, it's for me to sit there and tell you guys it was a weird year. I mean, who am I? You guys lived through this too. So you know, it's no different. It's no harder for us than it was for anybody else. And actually, I think we came out pretty well. And you know, Robert talked last month about the leadership team here at Decatur Public Library, and I got to reiterate, but it was everybody. But the leadership team was great. There was no decision I made on this without input from those guys, and they were really willing to stay positive and willing to change on time. And it was just a privilege to be able to work with them. But the whole team, there's nobody that didn't at one point kind of stand up and shine, you know, at one point or another, sometimes very quietly, sometimes in spectacular fashion. But, you know, and it's so important, these things, these little things. You know, you guys hear every month about the really interesting programs and the creative things that are being done. If it weren't for these kind of things getting done, like Lisa, you know, handling all these hold requests, this huge number of them, and technical services doing, you know, doing their job, those other people couldn't do those creative things. They wouldn't have time to do them.
Yeah.
They were very key. So I'm happy to take any questions on any of the three reports. I thought, all things considered, it was a pretty good year.
You know, I would just like to take an opportunity to make a couple comments, and that is, you know, in June of this year, the second of my 3-year terms on the board will end. So that's 2021. So that means I was put on the board somewhere around 2015. And I was put on the board by the former mayor, Michael McElroy, because we had a financial crisis at the library. This was before Rick arrived. It was the former librarian. And that's why I was placed on the board, because of my capacity with the city, to get involved with the library to try to financially fix things. That was achieved in a very short period of time. And I remained on the board because I enjoyed it, and that's the right thing to do, and service to the community and so on. But I have to say that I think Rick has done an excellent job in his capacity as a librarian. I think the library service, at least as my term as a board member, is vastly improved today from where it was yesterday before Rick's arrival. I believe the staff has improved. I believe, you know, there is so much better about the library today than there was yesterday. And I just wanted to go on record of making those comments. I think Rick has done an excellent job. I applaud him for the performance that he's done, and trust and hope that it will continue. You know, his service to the Decatur Public Library.
That's basically what I said to him in his evaluation. Or like, I mean, I don't know if I'm not supposed to say that, but I thanked him personally for his service.
The board made some very difficult decisions before I ever got here that made my job easier too. You know, this board, and you guys have continued to make some very sound decisions, and we've made great strides on the financial side for sure, but that's a total team effort. I mean, the you know, you guys are the guideposts for finances, and you'd be surprised at how enthusiastically that our guys will look for ways to do more with less. So that matters too.
That's awesome. All right, guys, do you have any other questions? Then I will take a motion to accept the reports.
I make a motion to accept the reports with the one change of the possible square footage.
Yes, and Alyssa's name.
Yep.
And I need a second.
Second.
All right, so we'll go down the list. Sophia?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Kate, or sorry, Carl.
Yes.
See the K. Okay. Amy?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Samantha, yes. Okay, the annual reports have been accepted. So we'll move on to the election of officers for 2022. I've failed to get their permission, but my suggestion was to keep the current slate. So if that's, does anybody have any comments on that?
I thought since Michael wasn't here, you could elect him to something, you know, anything you really wanted. You can appoint.
That's true. That's true. He could be some, I don't know. I'm not creative at the moment. So, so we would keep the current slate, which is, I would continue as president. Michael would be the vice president and Sophia is the secretary. So does that sound okay?
Yep.
All right. So I will take a motion to, I guess, elect the officers as presented.
I move to elect that slate of officers.
Okay.
Second.
All right. So Sophia?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Samantha? Yes. And then committee and liaison appointments, the same thing. Unless anybody has any objections to their current posts, I would say let's keep the committees, and we will talk about the Friends of the Library, but not right now, because that will be part of the bylaws discussion. Right. So I will take a motion to keep the committees and liaison appointments the same.
I make a motion to keep them the same.
I'll second.
Okay. Sophia? Well, I'm assuming no.
Oh, yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Here.
Greg?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Samantha? Yes. Okay, guys. Is there nothing else? So I will.
Well, I think you and I had to give permission to for our electronic signature.
Yeah, well, we do that later, right, Rick? Or
well, I that's never been a vote. Once you've voted to accept the reports, as long as
no, I know it's not a vote, but I'm just giving you my permission.
As long as you guys verbally,
yes.
I will do that. Then thank you.
Yeah, and I'll send that other one later.
I'll double check on the square footage.
Okay.
Hey, just one comment, and this is directed at Samantha.
Okay.
I think my own personal opinion is that evidenced by what we just did is unanimous support for your continuation as board president is indication of how strong the board feels about your performance. We think you've done an excellent job. I think you've done an excellent job. I appreciate the job that you do. And I'm thankful that you desire to continue.
Ditto.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And make me cry.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, so after that sweet, fun meeting, second meeting of the day, I will take a motion to adjourn, and then we have to go through the roster again one more time. So
I'll move to adjourn.
Anybody else?
I second.
Okay. Sophia?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Samantha? Yes. Thank you guys so much.